Shalom, shalom, Akim. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praise and honor, infinite glory to Yahweh, by Hashem outside, by Hashem Rakakwadash, the honors to the apostles and elders of GMS, peace, safety, and success to the hopeful elect. Let's put in His word, truth, and sincerity. Shalom to you, brothers.
On va tous voler, on te fils de... Heureusement, je me suis dit là-bas. Et il a capoté. C'était la haïa. Oh, c'est un bazooka, les gros. Voilà, c'est un bazooka. Avec oh là là, ils sont...
Our top story this hour, France rocked by rioting for a fourth night. Police arrested more than 1,300 people during fiery protests nationwide. More than 70 officers were injured. French President Emmanuel Macron has called for calm following days of unrest after a police officer killed a teenager during a traffic stop near Paris. Elaine Cobb is in the French capital.
These Paris streets bear the scars of last night's clashes as the French government tries to control the situation nationwide, and curfews have been imposed on some communities. The main flashpoint is now Marseille. France's second largest city on the Mediterranean coast is at the other end of the country from the scene of the deadly police shooting. Protesters hurled stones at police cars there, and masked youths torched trash cans as police used tear gas to try to clear the crowds. Spurred on by a challenge on social media, crowds of youths attacked a shopping mall, smashing windows and looting clothing stores. The Interior Minister ordered in reinforcements to back up local law enforcement in the city. Riots too in Lyon in the east, where SWAT teams were deployed, and in towns and cities across the country, as arrests indicate.
See, all hell's breaking loose in France, man. This is all biblical prophecy. This is what starting with our elders and apostles of Great Millstone on down been talking about for years and years. Biblical prophecy, man. And I'm gonna get the book of Book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 15, verse 16. For there shall be a sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their Slakia. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. Is that not sedition among men? You got these people rioting, and best believe it's going to happen to Babylon the Great, all over Babylon the Great. America is going to happen all over this place. In the time of Jacob's trouble, all hell breaking loose. Right now it's happening in France, man. There's going to be more seditions, more and more news stories. That's all going to lead up to the time of Jacob's trouble. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand of their power. That's right, man. So they ain't gonna care what the government is gonna say. They ain't gonna care what the mayors. Just like what happened back in I believe it was, I forgot what year, but I think it was 2021 or something like that, when the people invaded, the White House, the Babylonians. You had a whole bunch of Edomites that invaded the White House. We all know that was set up by the elites. We know Esau's tactics out there. He puts different distractions out there to deceive the masses, the people. We all know that You know, we all know that, man. But Scripture says this is biblical prophecy, man. We're living in the days of Ezra's, man. Time of Jacob's trouble. Matter of fact, let me get that real quick. Matter of fact, let me get this. Daniel chapter 12, verse 1. And it reads, and at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince which standeth for the children of thy people, and there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. And at that time thy people shall be delivered. Every one shall be found written in a book. That's right. So there's going to come a time like never before, man. Time as Jacob's trouble. And Jacob's trouble is going to be worse than any time on the face of the earth, man. It's going to be a time like never before, man. We're entering into them times. As you can see what's going on in France, but it's going to be a global thing around the earth, man. All hell breaking loose, and that's coming. Forgot that scripture, so I can bear with me. Oh, Jeremiah 30:7, Slakia. It's the book of Jeremiah, chapter 30, starting at verse 7. Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. That's right. So that he is talking about the elect, the Be'achah Dawadah that's going to be saved in these times coming. So alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. So Jacob's trouble is going to be time like never before, man. It's going to be worse than slavery. It's going to be worse than Tulsa, Oklahoma, 1929 or 1921, I believe. It's going to be worse than Rosewood. It's going to be worse than any atrocities that we went through as a people, man. But it says that he is talking about the elect, Jacob, the remnant, the elect of the nation of Israel, the Be'achah Dawadah, are the only ones that's going to be saved. Book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 15. Matter of fact, let me read the whole chapter. This book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 15, verse 19. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. That's right. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor. And you can see that happening today, man. A lot of people don't give a damn about their fellow neighbors, man. Especially the times that we're living in, you know. And that same spirit is coming back on the earth, man. And so you can see it happening on France. Happening in France in the news, man. Read it again. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. Verse 17, a man shall desire to go into the city and shall not be able. That's right, man. So I believe out there in France, they're doing blockades on different cities. So people cannot travel from different cities in France to go out there and doing what they doing. Rioting. Yeah, rioting is the word. You know, they're gonna have different blockades out there in France, and that's coming to Babylon and Great America, man. Pray that it happens here, man. Happen here on an all-time high, on an all-time level, because very soon, man, a lot of these, police officers and these guys, they ain't gonna give a damn, man. They're gonna use lethal force. They're gonna be using these robots, these different weapons of mass destruction to get rid of these people, man. They ain't gonna be doing no more paint guns and all these little taser guns and all these little smoke bombs and all them and all these weapons. They're gonna use actual lethal force, man. Actual bullets that can actually kill people, and that's coming. For the sword and the destruction shall draw nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. So these people, man, they're going to be doing whatever it takes for them to take the government down, man. And that's what a lot of these people are going to be doing, man. But the elect, we ain't going to be doing none of that, man. Lord willing, the hopeful elect, I should say, Slovakia. Because we don't know we're up that number or not. I don't want to ratazal. We be part of that number. But a lot of these people, they're going to be taking, hands into their own matters, man. They ain't going to give a damn about what the government going to say. They're going to take hands into their own matters and doing whatever they please to get what they want out there, man. And that's coming. It says, for because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, and the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. That's why a lot of men going to be afraid in that day, man. Especially the mayors, the people up there in the office that control the society. I'm not talking about the elites. I'm talking about just the mayors, the city councils, etc. And etc. They're gonna be afraid because they're gonna be having weapons in their hands and trying to do harm to them. It's gonna be my last scripture. Ezekiel 7:5. Thus said the Lord Yahweh power and evil, and only he eats Slakia. Thus said the Lord Yahweh Ba'asim Al-Shai power and evil, and only evil, behold, is come. Verse 6. And end is come, the end is come, he watched for thee, behold, it is come. And that's what's coming, man. And evil and only evil is come. So be prepared for more evils like this to happen. Because the more evils come, the more judgments come, the more prophecies come. And we almost out of here, man. Lord willing, Yahweh Shema Shai speeds up these prophecies so the elect can be sealed. So we're seeing this, a lot of Jake out there in the world, and when Jake see this type of stuff, he just say it's just it happens all the time, because Jake doesn't see this thing being a build up. Jake doesn't see this thing being a build up to something bigger, like the MOTB, the mark of the beast, was the RFID microchip, was just going to be implemented, and they're going to force people to take it. If you don't take it, then you're going to get your head chopped off, and that's what the hopeful elect are willing to do, man, to get their head chopped off for the testimony of Yahweh Shema Shai, and we're all ready for that, man. Lord, when the Lord put that spirit in us to have this same spirit that we have now. Matter of fact, I'm going to get Jeremiah 29:11. I'm going to close it out with this scripture. Lord willing, I don't want to desire this lesson was edifying. It's the book of Jeremiah, chapter 29, verse 11. For I know the thoughts that I think toward you, said the Lord, Yahweh Shai, thoughts of peace and not of evil, to give you an expected end. And that's what we all looking for, man, an expected end. And the expected end is when this society crumbles, when this society gets destroyed, man. When more and more evils come to society, and we're right at the door, man. Well, we want an expected end, man. We're tired of living in this place, continuing just working the rest of our lives. Because people think that this place, we're just going to be doing what our parents been doing, just working until we're 65 years old and just die. And our kids do the same thing over for eternity. That's not the case scenario, man. The Lord is going to give his people an expected end, and that expected end is right around the corner. Hope pray this lesson was edifying. I let to give all praise and honor and infinite glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Rakakwadash, the honors of the apostles and elders of GMS. peace, safety, and salutation to the Biyasha Davada. That's putting his word, truth, and sincerity to the next time. Detail, blah, 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 soon. Shalom.